Hello, you're here with Miss Libby Rose and welcome to the world of darts. So we're going to be looking at darts as our next step in the dressmaking stages. If you are following along with the whole dress tutorial, then you will need your front, so your front piece that's on the fold and your two back pieces, plus your pattern pieces as well. And you might want to if you've sort of tossed them to the side, you might want to iron them flat. Be a bit careful because it is tissue paper, but so you can get that nice flatness, because we want to get these exact now. So let's go straight in and start with our backs, okay? So put the right sides together first of all, please, and put your pattern piece on top of one of the pieces. So I've got the wrong side facing up. I've then put my pattern piece on top. I'm going to try and line that up exactly as I can, bearing in mind that we did just do our edges. So hopefully there's not too much that's gone off, that's changed the sizing here. Mine still looks pretty good. Okay, so here goes. Pin down pin it down so you could get it nice and flat and it's not going to move anywhere. So put a couple of pins in, and I didn't mention this earlier, but you might want to grab a ruler. So if you can, just pause me for a second and go and find a ruler, or anything with a straight edge actually, but a ruler is always quite nice because at least a ruler's a ruler. But you could just find the edge of a book or something if you like as well, so we can just get a nice straight line. Obviously not a vintage book that's all a bit warped. Get yourself a nice flat book, hardcover preferably. It really doesn't matter. We just need a straight edge, so anything you can find around the house or wherever you are at the moment with a straight edge on it, that would be great. A ruler, perfect. So I've laid down my pattern piece on top of my fabric, and then I find my darts. I know that in this center back this is my darts. They're down the back. They're going to go down this back part. Okay, so they're going to be here and here. So I see these big diamond shapes in the middle of the pattern here, and I take a pin and I reach for my tailor's chalk. Now I've got yellow and white here. They often come in assorted colours, and they're really helpful because it can show up on different. So if you're making something that's in a white fabric, you might want to use the blue one or the yellow one. Anyway, so I'm going to see which one shows up more, because I've got quite a pale background here. So I'm going to find my two ends that say 12 to 14 because I'm following the 14 number. Whichever number you're following, there's a different one for 10, there's a different one to 6 to 8, or you might have a different size range on yours. I'm going to find my top dot at the top of the diamond shape, and with my pin I'm going to try and make a little hole in there. Now there's all sorts of pattern utensils that you could use, little notches, little like hole punches that you could use to get this dot out, but I've just simply used my pin and that's created a dot at the top there. Now I'm just going to double check that I can see that. Yes, I can. That's lovely. Now I'm going to follow this line down. Don't get confused with all the other dotty lines. And I find another dot here. Make a hole. Careful not to ruin my fabric. And put another dot with my chalk in there. Down to this one. So I've done 1, 2, 3, down to here, make a dot, and then there's one more. Now this is a tricky one. I need to follow, found it here, and make another dot. Okay, so that is the only darts. Double check there's no sneaky darts anywhere else. Fine. So now I flip the pattern piece up, and that's when I use my ruler to join up dart to dart, so dot to dot, sorry, so you're creating a dart, closing up, dot to dot, and you've got a nice long diamond shape. And repeat. So now flip this over and repeat for your other back. Okay, then, so if you want to pause a second, just repeat. Then now I've finished with that, I'm now going to my front. So I've got the front folded in half, so I've got the edge here, and so nice and flat. If I needed to iron it, I might press that a little bit as well, making sure that this is really strictly folded in half, exactly the same as the fabric is, lining it all up. Bit trickier, there's a big dart down the front, and there's a bust dart on the side here. So I'm going to put some pins in just so that I make sure that my pattern paper is not going to fly around anywhere. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to start with my bust dart. So to the edge here. Now it lines up with this sort of diamondy shape that's coming out of the fabric as well. So I find my 14 dot there, find my next 14 dot there, go to the middle, get my pin and make a mark, and there's my 14 dot on the side. I take this off for now because I will need it again. I've got that big middle dart to go. I join up dart to dart, so dot to dot. Sorry, I keep saying dart to dart, dot to dot. So I've got a nice bust dart in there. Now lay it back down flat, making sure you're exact. I go to the top here, marking where 14 is. And then there's a middle dot down here, and then another one at the end. Now I simply join, join, join. And repeat that on the other side. Okay. Then you've got this folded in half. I'm going to pop a pin in there. Really make sure that you can see that line. Now I'm going to pin my bust darts. Bust dart on the back's rubbed off a little bit. I'll make an extra mark. Especially your bust darts, really important to make sure that they're exact on either side. We don't want lopsided bust darts. It's really, it's one of the banes of, you know, like if you're doing a lot of dressmaking, if you've got like 1 and 1, it's not very nice. So I'm now going to fold in my bust darts. So if I fold, so I've flipped it over to the right way, I've now got chalk mark to chalk mark with that bit that sort of stuck out along like that. And I know that's correct because I can see my chalk mark on this side. I flip it and it's exactly next to each other on that side. Okay, now I come up to the dot, so I follow that line along. I've got another dot here and I pop a pin in. So now I've got, this is ready to sew along here. You might want to iron that flat, just so you can really make sure, especially this is the first time you're doing darts, just really make sure that that's nice and flat in there. Lovely. Repeat for the other side. Fold it in half where the bit is that sticks out here. See that bit that sticks out at the top? I fold it in half with the right sides facing each other, right sides together, making a triangular shape, making sure that that chalk mark matches this one, and then to the end here, to my dot, another pin in, press flat if you like, Now to the middle. So I've already put some pins in there to keep that together. So down, and then I find my dot at the bottom here, another one. And I've actually, with this, I've put my pins in matching the dots. So there was a dot here, a dot here, it went up, and then it goes all the way up to the top. You can pop some more pins in if you like, if you feel more comfortable, and iron that flat so it's nice and flat. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then on my back 1, 2. So you've got 5 darts in all together, all pinned in, all chalked up and ready to go. Let's get our sewing machines up and let's sew them in. So let's get these babies sewn up. So let's go. I'm starting with my back. Okay, so we've got, this is one of the backs, and like I said before, I've put pins in where the dots were. So there's one here, and one here, and then I'll go out and then in. Now, if this is your first time doing darts and you're feeling a bit nervous about it, I'm going to say let's start at the middle. Now I'm going to start in this middle dot, so that's the center of the diamond shape, and I'm going to pop my foot so that the dot is right in the middle of the foot, so I can see that dot right in the middle of the foot. Now I'm not going to go backwards, okay, so I'm going to go straight down. So I'm going to leave a thread here and go straight down and follow the edge of this diamond, and I'm going to run off the machine. So I will go so close to this dot as I'm coming closer down that I'll actually run off the machine, and I'm not going backwards there either. So here we go. I'm going straight down, and I'm getting closer to this dot, really close to the edge, and actually I've come off of the fabric, and I'm going to pull that out and leave a long thread here. Okay, so we'll come back to that long thread. Let's get this first dart in. Now I'm going back to this point, so I'm going to flip it over the other way, and I'm going back to that middle point. Now because I didn't do a backwards, I've got to go over the last stitch I did, so that's going to lock it in. So by going over the top, feels so weird not going backwards, going over the top and down, all the way down to the end here. Okay, so I've got my dot there, all the way down. I've come off the fabric, and I pull out, and I've got a nice long thread. There was a bit of a tangle there, that's my fault. I'm going to really make sure in that middle that I have gone over, so there's no chance of the stitch coming undone. I'm even pulling it to make sure there's no chance of it coming undone, and it's fine. So I've gone over the stitches, and that's what's created my backwards, by going over them. Now I go to the ends here, and I haven't done backwards there, so I take the 2 pieces of thread and tie it in a knot. So that's how we do these back diamond darts. Tie it in a knot. Now, if I did go backwards, I'd be going off. I wouldn't have a nice sharp dart there. So that's why I'm going to tie this. So I've still got my lovely dart. It's not going to come undone because I've tied a knot. And repeat for the other side. Repeat for the other side. And done. Okay, so that is my first dart in. Beautiful. We don't want any points at the bottom, and it hasn't done because I've run it off the machine. I'm going to change that to my, and I've checked that middle as well. That's not going to come undone because I've gone over the stitches in the middle. And as you get more confident, you will be able to just leave a long thread here and just run it up. So you run off, so you're off the machine and then on, and then into the center there, needle in and turn and then run it off. But for now, and for as long as you want, because you can keep doing it forever if you like, start at the middle and out, start at the middle and out, just making sure that you don't go over, you do go over the stitches, but you don't go backwards there, because that could mess up with the dart. Over and done. Now repeat that for your other back. So then you've got 2 back darts there. Put them to your ironing table ready to press down. Now we've got this front dart. Let's go straight into that middle dart, okay? So let's find where it starts. Where's my darts? Can't I see my chalk? There it is. This white chalk. I've got a mixture of white and yellow chalk there. Okay, so here I'm going to run. I'm really watching that needle. That needle has to be, so the middle gap of the foot is following the chalk line, and that will mean that my needle will stay on that chalk line. I can start doing a backwards here because it's just at the top of the dress. That's fine. So I've gone backwards a few stitches and I'm following, the middle gap of the needle is following the chalk line down. And I know that the dot is here, so that's when it starts to move in. So when I get to my pin, I stop, I go needle in, and now I'm going to start on the descent. So I'm going down, and again I'm going to run off the edge. There we are, and I'm off the edge. And I can just pull that thread so it's nice and long. Nice and long on my work. And what am I going to do? I am going to put it in a knot. Okay. So I do that in a knot, and that's nice. That's going to stay in place. Now I can trim the thread off because I've done it in a knot. Take those pins out, or you might well have been taking them out as you go, because that is the correct way to do it. Unlike me, naughty. Right, I've got that centre dart done. Fantastic. Pull it. Yes, looking good. Now to the 2 bust darts. Same process. Go to the edge. Okay, and then find that end. So that's where my pin is at the end. So you're doing 1 descent in. Okay, so you've got this triangle. So you're coming from the end, do your backwards, down. So I pulled my thread out. So you're just going, actually I'll keep going for showing you. So I keep going down, all the way down, and then you come off the edge and then pull the thread again. Okay, so you've got a nice long thread pulling there. And then do the same for the other bust dart, and then all on your iron table, okay, ready to iron them flat. So now we're just going to iron them nice and flat. So I've still got these pieces on the fold as I did them. So say if I go to the bust dart, I'm going to fold it back in the fold just like I sewed it. Iron it flat like that, then open it up. I'm going to push it downwards. So push it nice and flat down. Yeah, that looks nice. Down like that. Again, I'm going to press this one on the fold as I sewed it. Take the pin out. You'll probably find some random pins that have been left in. Then I open it, and I'm going to flap this one downwards. Beautiful. Lovely darts, if I do say so myself. And then I am going to, I might actually see if I can press this open. So press it down as you did. And then let's see if we can press it open. That kind of works. So either press it sort of so you squeeze it down and it's open, or just press it to one side. Either side, left or right, doesn't matter. Just so it's all sitting lovely and flat. Let's do the same for those back darts. So pressing down flat, open it up, push the dart to one side. And again with this one. Press it to one side. Nice and flat. They look beautiful. I'm very happy. Okay, so now you can put away these pattern pieces, don't need those until next time, and you will need your 1, 2, 3 front and 2 backs, and go and find your facings, front facing, 2 back facings, and I'll see you at the next step of making the dress, or if you were just here for darts, bye for now.